So this happened on July 17th. Was that last Sunday or Saturday? Something like that. But anyway, I was taunting my beans again. Talking to them. Not really taunting them. I don't taunt them. I just talk to them for experiences. I mean, I could taunt them if I wanted to, but that may be kind of scary. So anyway, I was talking to them. I just wanted to use the word taunt, so I did. So, so I was talking to them to give me an experience. And this being came forward, and I know this being was the same being that gave me that botched abduction. That video that I put on here about the botched abduction. See, well, at that time I was, talking to Joel, and then a being came forward to give me an experience, so I just figured it was Joel, but it wasn't. It was this being right here, the tickling being. He likes to tickle. And it's obvious this being does not know how to give virtual reality experiences. He only knows how to take you out of body. But that other experience, that botched experience, that lasted a lot longer. Like a lot longer. And this one was kind of quick. But I believe it was the same being because he tickled me again. Yeah, it was really weird. Okay, so this was like whatever the 17th was, last Saturday about 10:30 a.m. or Sunday 10:30 a.m. I can't remember what the 17th was. Or was that Monday? Because I was actually off on Monday. That could have been Monday. Okay, so anyway, so two, if you want to experience, if you want to experience these beings, and if you want to know how you are getting, a connection with them, this is what will happen. Like you have your eyes closed and you're in the bed and you're like talking to them. Like talk to the reptilians because they give you the best. They give you the best shit in the world. So talk to them for sure. But like I say, lots of times, no matter what being it is, lots of times they won't show their face, but sometimes you just know it's the reptilians once you get really good at experiencing them. But, they can take on any appearance they want to. And there are some beings that look like a snake. They have a mamba body and a bull head with little horns. I can draw that being. I'm going to draw that being. That'll be easy. Because that little imprint is on the floor at work, in the bathroom. Imprint of that little demon or whatever. Well, I don't really think it was a demon, but it was like... These entities are just kind of ornery, you know what I mean? They're not really evil, they're just kind of ornery. But it was smirking at me. And then it started freaking crawling on my freaking bed. That was like a couple years ago at 11:15 a.m. So I don't know what would have happened if I would have, fallen asleep, because I was going to try to go back to sleep, but I didn't. I got up out of bed after the being started crawling on my bed. But anyway, okay. So this is what will happen. See, okay. So like you close your eyes and you start talking to the beings. This is how you know. But this isn't all inclusive. I mean, sometimes you can still just totally fall asleep and then boom, they, slam you down in a virtual reality experience and you're completely conscious and everything. Once you wake up, you remember everything. But if you're not asleep yet and you're sitting there with your eyes closed, laying in the bed, and you start talking to them, this is what will happen. When you're making a connection with one of the beings, they will, this particular being showed him, he showed himself, this is hard to explain, his energetic essence, yeah, that's a good term, his energetic essence looked like a freaking lightning bolt. And this was the first time I've seen a lightning bolt. A white lightning bolt. Just like this, with my eyes closed, in my consciousness. And sometimes you'll just see blue flickers of light out the corner of your brain to the left or to the right, or, above. Blue flickers of light. And they also will, sometimes when the being, when you know you're going to get an experience, the being will just kind of like walk right through you, with your eyes closed. You'll see just a big non-physical shadow, and this is with your eyes closed. It'll just walk right through you, or walk right at your brain, so to speak. You'll see that. And another thing you'll see, and I can think of some more too, but another thing, well, and two, a lot of times, not always, if they're not manifested that great, you're not going to really feel them. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to feel them. If they're not standing at your bedside, you're not going to feel them. But even when they're off at a distance, so to speak, you'll see these things. You'll see the lightning bolt, whatever energetic shit they give off. But yeah, like when that gray abducted me and took me to the NSA building, he was standing right there by me, like energetically, ethereal, non-physical, invisible, standing right there by me, and you could feel like their magnetism right up against your skin. But sometimes you don't feel that if they're not really standing right there by you. You don't feel that. But you can know you're making a connection with this other ways. And another time, like, I had my eyes closed, and this was, I think I had an experience, I think this was Joel, I can't remember, but Joel likes to do that. He'll, like, walk right through me. Like, big old shadow, like, person coming at me, like, walking right through me, walking right through my physical body, his astral body, or his non-physical astral body, with just, like, you know, when I'm talking to him, but he shows up, I mean, he'll give off other things besides that, but can't remember at the moment what else he gives off. But he gives off that kind of, you know, pattern or whatever. But, so anyway, another thing, this is really weird, and I can't remember what experience I had right after this, but I was talking to the beings, and just all this, like, cloudy shit, waves. It was like waves of water coming at you, like in your consciousness, with your eyes closed. Like waves of water. You know, like waves of water. But it wasn't water. It was like dark gray matter. Just like waves. Like swoosh, 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 swoosh. The entities will give off that when you know you're making a connection. Yeah, so that's the best I could explain it. Like water, just like swoosh, swoosh, swoosh coming at you, except it's not blue or aqua. It's like gray, blackish matter, like foggy, you know, foggy, gray, blackish clouds, like swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Like, just, yeah. I mean, because like I say, these fucking beings are not fucking physical. They're never going to be physical. They never were physical. They're not physical. So they can, you know, give off all sorts of shit like that. But like I say, not all of them, I don't believe for a second, not all of them can manifest as completely physical. Some of them can. I mean, there's billions and trillions of them. Some of them can't even manifest as physical if they tried. And then some of them, of course, can, like the Reptilians. You know, of the fourth dimension, or whatever you call them, interdimensional, they can manifest completely physical. But not for long. Okay, so this experience, I started talking to the beings. This being came forward, the tickling entity. And he was like I say, he showed himself as lightning bolts when I was making a connection. And that was pretty cool. And so anyway, okay, I'm trying to remember here. This was a very fast experience. Okay, so then he took me out of body, and I started falling faster than I did that first time around in that video, the botched reptilian abduction. I started falling. This time I started falling a lot faster. In the astral realm, I started falling faster. And I wasn't scared this time that a mean reptilian was going to grab me up. I wasn't scared at all. So I started falling in the astral realm. This being knows how to take you out of body, but it's apparent he doesn't know how to give virtual reality experiences. Like some of the reptilians, you know how to do that. Some don't. And they all have their own personality. Okay, so then I started falling in the astral realm, non-physically. And like I said, this time I wasn't scared that a mean reptilian was gonna grab me. Okay, well then the next thing I know, I'm back in my bed, but yet I'm astral. I guess you could call it, I would be astral at that point. Because for you to experience them physically, they have to get you out of body on their level, and then they feel totally freaking physical. So anyway, he got me out of body first. I started falling. He stuck me back in bed, and at that time, my physical body was still in bed, but I was astral. My astral body, I was conscious more in my astral body at that point. And then the being, oh my god, and it seemed like I had slightly longer hair in the back, and the being, which I believe it was a reptilian entity, the being took me by the hair and lifted my head up, and he started tickling me on the back of the neck. It was so funny. He started tickling me, and it tickled freaking crazy. It tickled me like crazy. And that's not the only thing he did. He started picking, like he was picking bugs off of me. Like a monkey does to another monkey. Yeah, he started picking. Like a monkey does to another monkey. But I know where he got that from. He got that from because I had been, for many, many weeks now, picking fleas and shit off my freaking cats, man. See, I guess whenever we're going to have a really, really, really hot summer, I'm going to maybe, have a flea infestation, because the last time I had a flea infestation was in 2011, and we had a really, really, really hot summer then. See, I haven't had a flea infestation since 2011, because all the other summers were kind of not this hot. And I think that's where he got that from, because I would pick fleas off of Hannah, and so he started picking, like he was picking bugs off of me, or fleas or something. But it's yeah, and he started freaking tickling me, and after he started tickling me, it tickled so bad that I put my hand back there to move his hand, and I felt his freaking hand, man. I felt his hand, and of course it felt physical. That was just weird to feel his hand like that. And of course he could have had claws, but I didn't feel them. They have taunted me with their hands before. Total reptile hand. It was brown. It had 1/2-inch claws. Looked like rubber. They taunted me one time with the reptilian hand on the side of my kitchen cabinet under a virtual reality experience, and that was a lot of fun. But yeah, they have taunted me with their hands before. But yeah, so I reached my hand back there to pull his hand away from me because it tickled so damn bad. And but yeah, it was fun. So anyway, but it's so weird when their natural state is out of body, because they're non-physical. They're always out of body, so to speak. And our natural state is physical, but once we go out of body and we're on their level, it's when they do stuff to us, they're so strong. They're very, very strong. And everything is accurate and perfect, like sex. They could have intercourse with me just boom, standing up. And it's just accurate, and it still goes in just fine. He puts it in totally how it's supposed to go in. He doesn't go too far. They know exactly all of that. And it's just perfect. Everything's perfect. Sex is perfect. Everything is perfect. And so when he was lifting my head up, it was God, he was just fucking powerful and forceful and so strong. It just feels so much stronger than if you're in 3D and somebody puts your head up like that. It feels 1,000,000 times magnified when you're on, when you're out of body on their level. But he wasn't a mean entity. He was just playing with me. And I have no doubt this was probably the same being that gave me the experience under that video that I titled my botched reptilian abduction. And yeah, that wasn't Joel. I know I said it was Joel, but I know it wasn't. Well, he comes forward most of the time to give me experiences, so sometimes it's kind of hard to tell which entity it is. But I'll talk to this being tonight. Well, the thing is, though, man, he doesn't know how to give virtual reality experiences. Because normally they'll take you out of body, then, you know, they'll make you astral travel, or maybe not make you astral travel, and then they'll stick you in a virtual reality experience. But this dude, this reptilian, doesn't know how to. And I love my virtual reality experiences. Yesterday, they took me on a camping trip. Man, it was freaking cool. But it wasn't a virtual reality experience. It was just a dream. But it was very detailed, very intricate. It was awesome. They took me on a freaking camping trip. It was cool. Now, some of those kind of dreams, the Greys together and the Reptilians are creating a lot of those kind of, a lot of my lucid dreams and dreams. The Greys are also in on that. Creating, you know, but they always create all of my dreams for me. I think they're creating everybody's dreams for them. I don't believe for a second that anybody is creating their own dream. The aliens are creating them for you. But most people don't pay attention, and I just happen to figure it out. And like I said, I was having these virtual reality experiences in the altered state. Well, I had my first out-of-body experience around age 7, and then I had a virtual reality experience, a sexual one, around age 7. They've been doing this shit all my life, and more of these virtual reality, you know, me being in all these other dimensions and realms, which after I woke up, I just thought it was a freaking dream, which, you know, I mean, which it really wasn't a dream. It's just that they created all these realities and shit for me all my life. And lots of times, I freaking feel like I'm in another dimension. I feel like I'm in a utopia dimension, and of course I never really knew why. Now I know why. But, you know, I just thought I was having my own freaking dream. I thought my own brain made up all that shit for me. It did not. The aliens are doing it. Yeah, and it could be as simple as me walking along at nighttime, you know, in the altered state in a so-called, you know, well, it wasn't a dream, it was more like a virtual reality kind of lucid dream. I remember walking along, like, seemed like I was in, I don't know, St. Louis or something, and there was a big bridge and a lake, river or lake off at the distance. But it was dark time, and I remember, for some reason, the beings put my aunt, my ex-aunt in this scenario, and my cousin. This was many years ago. I had this virtual reality experience in the altered state. And then, I mean, it's just simple little things like that they create for me. And then the next thing I know, you know, it'll be daylight, and I'm with my sister and my mom just walking along this strange little town, and we're going to this restaurant, and we go and sit down in a restaurant and eat and all this shit. And those weren't dreams. They were like, I don't know what they are, but they're not dreams. But the aliens were creating all this shit for me. I mean, you know, these weren't dreams. These were totally like no different than being in 3D, except the atmosphere felt totally different. You know, more like utopia kind of atmosphere. But it was still virtual reality. I mean, it felt like I was in the freaking, you know, experience. But it could just be simple little, you know, just boring little stuff like that. But when I'm actually in the experience, I mean, it's not boring at all. It feels like freaking like I'm in heaven. And it could just be as simple as that. Walking along at nighttime, and then meeting up with my sister and mom, walking down the street of this strange little town, going into a restaurant, eating food, sitting there looking at the menu. I mean, it's fucking cool. But like that camping trip they took me on yesterday, I mean, it was still very intricate, very clear, very detailed, but it was not a lucid dream. My lucid dreams were like virtual reality experiences. This was just a dream. And my dreams, you know, they feel more artificial. They don't feel as good. And I don't know what their deal is, man. They need to freaking change my implant or something and quit giving me freaking dreams, because they're not as good. They're not as fun as my other shit, as my lucid dreams and virtual reality experiences. The dreams aren't as fun. They're not as realistic feeling when you're in the experience. You know, they feel more artificial. But I gotta talk about all that later. The differences between all that. And I still have to talk about some remote views, because that's different too. So anyway, yeah, this experience was cool, man. The tickling entity. Yeah, so apparently, I don't know if he's ever given me experiences before or not, but I know he's given me at least 2, and he likes to tickle. Thanks for listening.